following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise. Let's go.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who you with?
Sir Walter Jones.
One more again.
Sir Walter Jones.
The Sir Walter Jones Show. Co-host Alvin Carter. We are a Christian talk show in where we tackle all the hot topics in a believer's walk. Monday is Men's Night. The Men's Chronicles, a woman's guide to men.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
What's his name?
Sir Walter Jones.
Whose show is this?
Sir Walter Jones.
Who is it?
Sir Walter Jones.
Say it again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Who you with?
Sir Walter Jones.
One more again.
Sir Walter Jones.
Welcome to the Sir Walter Jones Show. I am he. It is Monday. Men's Chronicles. Papa don't take no mess. He don't take no mess. That's James Brown, JB. He sings a song about Papa because I wanted to play that as an underbed today because I want to talk about a situation here. Why are black boys and men angry? Yes, we've tackled this show before. Bits and pieces here and there, me and Alvin C. Carter and our other guest who comes on our show quite frequently. But today I want to go deep, like China deep into this subject here. I got Facebook chimed in. Facebook Live is on the scene, and Facebook Wall is on the scene. I don't know what to call it. I'm just calling it the Wall. The Wall is doing this thing. And we want to talk about this particular subject because it is an epidemic. It is crazy. What's going on with black men? And what has it stemmed from? And can we go all the way back to slavery? Well, I put a post up and says our Illinois Senator Dick Durbin thinks it's possible the same effect soldiers have after leaving war. I think they call it post-traumatic something, stress, PTSD. And I'm agreeing with him that part of the anger of these boys has something to do with the traumatic stress that they have been under in their homes, whether it's a one mama or mama and daddy is home. Tamika Brannon says why they're angry is because from an early age, young black boys are not able to fully express emotions. And she's right. Anything deemed as a girly expression is frowned upon. You know, they say, stop crying like a little girl. Only girls do that, and so on. Tamika is so right. Matter of fact, I think she worked with children, so she knows. You are absolutely right. We're going to dig into this. As soon as Alvin gets here, maybe he can help us understand that whole aspect of telling the boys, man up. Stop acting like a little old sissy. He cannot express his emotion. He can't cry. He's not allowed to cry because his parents, especially his father, tell him don't cry. Samuel Patterson says we came out of slavery. Oh, well, there it is. But the effects of slavery are still there. He's saying we have been delivered, but we're not whole. Just like the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, their minds were not ready to comprehend true freedom. With all this churching we have been doing, all we have done is made ourselves bound to something. We have bound ourselves to church and pastor rather than the Father. Anyway, we mimic what we have seen and tried to be like master, despised in our eyes, he's saying. You got a couple likes there, but let's see. Eva Virginius responded by saying, do not play victim part here. There is at least 3 generations going on, fourth since the slavery was. There has been slavery in many forms since the beginning of human race. And if it was that people never forget and forgive in their heart slavery, then is our planet full of that kind angry people, he's saying. He or she, Eva, I'm hoping, is a he. She, I'm sorry. Also, Eva saying, I have been to Africa, and there did they blame on the British government they had for 50 years ago. Stop blaming on other things than the problems are in our nature. To blame or place a problem into another place and not deal with the problem inside yourself instead. There's people that is very wealthy because they nursery this. I think she meant nurse this with victims. The role of be a victim, grow up and face your demons. Man, Eva went off on Brother Samuel. I got a response for that as well. Brother Scott says, sir, you have those who are angry with their parents, and you have those who are angry with having to miss out on their childhood because of whatever reason, babysitting, little brother, sister, taking care of house duties, and etc. And Tamika agrees with you, Abronia. She also says, sir, what happens when a young man lives in a 2-parent home, made to attend church services, and he still ends up being caught up? There you go. Can we still say that he's a product of his environment? And Tamika says, yes, we can, because his home is not the only environment. Bam. Tamika's pretty good at this. I see you guys on Facebook Live. Demetra's there. Lady Michelle is there. Richelle is there. Sean Hamilton's there. Stephen Perry's there. Michelle Thomas. I see you. I see you. Let's see what LaToya Gibson is saying here on this subject. It's due to a system of oppression which had bred hopelessness and competition among the weakest. So far, she's right. That combined with the knowledge that they're constantly preyed on will never be able to attain peace, even if they obtain papers and station and feeling inferior and like they're dared to touch the untouchable people, places, and things. It's causing implosion, and understandably so. I like the word implosion. She's right there. Brony also says love for each other is no longer being taught. What's being taught now is get them before they get you. Wow. That deserves a sip. That was good. The sip was good, but the response was even better. I will say that African Americans, and we're not the only ones that should be mad, should be upset. When I hear from white people who always say, get over it, that causes anger in me and other blacks as well. Because could you possibly understand the plight or the pain of a group of people if you've never experienced this pain before? Your pain is not my pain, so I don't understand your pain. So I would just have to weep with you with the hopes that you come out of it and then rejoice with you when you do come out of it and forgive whoever put that pain on you. But to say that you shouldn't be hurting and slavery's been over for 90,000 years, get over it. It's so insensitive to a people who have been in bondage for so many hundreds of years. I never really looked at a Jew and said to him, get over it. You know, Hitler did what he did. That's a long time ago. Yeah, I know y'all got the Holocaust thing going on and what have you. Just get over it. I mean, why are you still feeling the pain now? Just get over it. I mean, do we do that to them? I look at even the Hispanics, whether you Mexican or whether you Puerto Rican and all of the other Spanish territories of South America. They come here and look how many of them are treated. I don't think no minority here that have this anger in them, no one can tell them that it's not justified. Okay? I look at what our president did in the 1950s, had packed up many of the Mexicans and told them they got to go. Who was that? Eisenhower. And let's look at one I think was the great president until that black time of his life, President Roosevelt, who, when we got bombed by Pearl Harbor, he went and got many of the Japanese and put them in internment camps. Can I properly tell the Japanese, get over it? Why are you angry? You know, shake it off. I know your parents and your grandparents and your great-great-grandparents had to suffer this, all right? That's many generations ago. Why don't you let it go? Sharina Robinson says, I definitely think the environment the child is growing up in affects their level of anger. She's right. And the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because I saw on the news last night all of the killing. And I posted that video up on Facebook and about how our senator was talking about it. And I thought it was intriguing that he and another woman who was responsible for a lot of the social programs we have in Chicago, she was saying, until we find out why these little black boys are killing each other, we can't treat them. I thought, wow, that's it. How do you treat a sickness that you don't know what it is? So it's just like trying to give a cough medicine to a person who's coughing. You don't know what kind of cough it is. I mean, the doctor will ask you, you're coughing, okay, explain the cough to me. And then what he'll do, he'll prescribe whatever the medicine is proper to the particular symptoms that you have. Well, that's what's happening in our city in Chicago. Many of the African Americans, we are absolutely angry. But our boys are angry, and we need to figure out why. Bobby Miller saying only race that never receive reparations. That's right. Never got it. And I'm often intrigued by the great president that we have here called Barack Obama, who put many of his efforts into supporting and trying to pass laws to help the homosexual community. LGBT, and now this new thing that he threatened you, especially if you who are school administrators, he threatened you. He'll take away funding. He threatened the states that if you don't let these transsexuals go to your bathroom, or allow to use your bathroom, I'm going to pull our resources back. Okay? He has never, ever attempted to do anything like that when it came to African-American struggle. No. And here that man is, a sitting president sitting in the White House, never thought that that day would ever come, that he would actually take even the time to sick the Department of Justice on people who are confused how they were born. This is the America that we're living today, and God is getting ready to judge us. Amazing. And that's part of my anger. Minister John Ross, you're saying I sent, okay, man, what? Wrong wall, man. Wrong wall. Go in my inbox. Bobby Miller saying if I was a president, I would sign a bill for every African American to receive $10,000 by the age of 21. Well, good luck, Bobby. Bobby! Good luck with that, man. Because being the president of the United States, it seems like you have a lot of power, but you don't. You're really a puppet in a sense. You got all these advisors, and you're under the stronghold. The Congress got your loins by the hands. I want to go here and see if I can read articles here to see what we could do to figure out why is it that black men are angry, and black boys, why are they angry, and why are people, especially of other races, saying, and we know there's only one race, the human race. We get that. All right. But for the sake of argument, let's go here. April 10th, 2012. Why are black men angry? This is an article. This is Hub Pages. And I don't know who the writer is of this. Uncle Bud, I guess, wrote this article. It's on hubpages.com. the boo-boo mama can't kiss away, he's saying. This article is something else. Today, while out shopping at the mall, my son asked me, Mama, why do white people treat me like that? Why do they act like they are afraid of me? I held the door for that older white couple to pass through, and they ignored me and went through the other door. I didn't have an answer, he's saying. I don't have an answer good enough that will numb the pain of so many of us who have suffered hundreds of years of oppression and discrimination. I've witnessed these slights firsthand that have been levied upon my son. My son has been taught well. He can be very hard-headed, but he is very respectful to adults. He opens the doors, he allows females to pass through the doors ahead of him, and does all these things. All those things a young, well-brought-up man is supposed to do. A few of his teachers have commented on how well-mannered he is. Always ready to help out in class, always holds the doors, always says please and thank you. And that's my son, Walter Jones, Jr. We live in South Dakota, and I understand what this man is saying here. He says, we were out and about one day, and I witnessed one older white lady, or maybe it was an older white man, allowed a door to slam in my son's face. My son was coming up behind the man to hold the door for me as I passed through. The person simply allowed the door to slam in my son's face. Once on an elevator, the white people on the elevator with us looked at my son as if he were about to murder them. He was simply riding the elevator. No visible weapons. He wasn't talking loud or cursing. He wasn't even making eye contact with them. His pants weren't sagging. On some level, I couldn't understand their reaction, but on another level, when my son was younger and less than 5 feet tall, with bright sparkled eyes, a beautiful wide smile and long curly eyelashing that would make Elizabeth Taylor jealous, and a respectful manner, he was considered such a cute little boy to everyone, even to white people. Now, at more than 6 feet tall, with bright, sparkling eyes, a beautiful wide smile, long curly eyelash, and a respectful manner, he is a perceived threat, a menace to society, a born suspect. I tried to prepare him for this day, but how do you really prepare someone to be discriminated upon? His dreadlocks, I know, don't really help the situation, but so many black dreadlock educated professional men tell the same story. How do I protect him? How do I make the hurt go away? I can't kiss this boo-boo away. How do I prevent him from hating those who are teaching hate? How do I prevent him from being prejudiced against those who practice prejudice against him? We often ask ourselves why young black men are so angry. The socially conscious rapper Chuck D, along with Public Enemy, which included a comical but social conscious Flavor Flav back then, who is now just comical, he rapped back in the 80s in the song Can't Trust It. One line in the song goes, the hater taught hate. That's why we gangbang it. Says I spoke with a friend of mine, brother Bob Arrington, who hosts the gospel radio show Jay in the Morning with WRSV Soul 92 in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, recently about this very subject. Brother Bob said that a black man's first example of a man in this country taught him to be violent through his own violence, i.e., beatings, whippings, castrations, lynchings, etc. The anger of black men has been indoctrinated in them through slavery and passed down through the generations. Perhaps this is an explanation, but it ain't right. He's saying it just ain't right. I agree. If we keep saying that we need to get over slavery, then we also need to get over the teachings of our forefathers. I'm not talking about our forefathers 5 generations ago. I'm talking about our father. My father is a direct result of slavery, which is a direct result of Jim Crowism. Our parents, if you live in the North, those of you who live in Chicago, Detroit, even New York and many of the northern cities, most of your parents are from the South. They did a black migration. There was 2 migrations that did happen. Our parents are from the second migration that happened from the South. They had hard times back then because they had to endure, that sharecropping. They couldn't look white people in the eyes. And I found myself not realizing I found myself genetically wired to not be able to look at a white woman. I worked for a white woman. I'll never forget it. This was as soon as the early 1990s, so it wasn't a whole lot of years ago. I remember being in an elevator. I had a suit on. I looked better than she did. And I walked in the elevator, and I spoke, but I put my head down. I could not look this white woman in the face. And something came over me. He said, "Walter, what are you doing? You probably got more prestige and money in you," because I worked for a CPA firm at the time. She could be the person who delivering the mail from desk to desk. You never know. But I couldn't look at her. And then boldness came over me and said, "Walter, lift your head up." And where did that come from? And I looked at her and I asked her, "How was your day?" and what have you, which made her more comfortable because it didn't matter if I had a suit on. There was still this thing about this black guy, okay, in the elevator with me and in a closed thing. And I put my head down. And I kept wondering to myself all that day, why did I put my head down in front of this white woman? I think it's because of what I saw in my environment at that time coming up under my mother and father. My father, when he talked to white people, he changed his voice. He sounded like a white person. When he talked to us, though, he talked to his white friends, he talked like this. He used the colloquial language of that day. And my brothers teased my dad a lot because when he would talk to his white clientele, he would straighten up like this. And he would say, "Hello, Mr. McGillicuddy. How are you, sir?" "Good, I just want you to know." And that's the way my father talked. I was like, what is he doing? And why did he metamorphosize? Why did he transform into a white guy? I couldn't understand that. But I had to remember my father was raised by my grandfather who come from the South. And there was a culture of the South where they had to be submissive to the white man, even though Jim Crow was over. But the residue, the crimson stain of that environment still levy there in the South. And it worked itself up here in the North. Do you not know they have 2 different proms in the South? I couldn't believe this. I just found this out like last year, that there's a black prom and a white prom. And you wonder why these black people are angry, why these black boys are angry. And they're taught to be submissive to white people. But when it comes to a black teacher or some black person in authority, you don't really have to. And so the kid gets angry, okay? And it's just amazing, but we need to go back and find out and check and find out, are we responsible for our black boys being angry the way they are towards white people? And then tonight on the show, we want to talk about how that anger, because it's seared into them, then they're not going to just show it to white people. They're going to show it to their black girls. They're going to show it to their black mothers, okay? They're going to show it to their black teachers. They're going to show it to women is where I'm getting, okay? And then black boys turn to black men will show this anger towards other black boys and other black men. It's amazing how we are so charged, angry. We're so charged that we will just like that. Because tomorrow we're going to talk about the anger of black women. But just like that, a man would be standing there with, don't let him have some Air Jordans on, and let somebody step on his Air Jordans like that. Anger. I've seen it. I've seen people pulverized because they stepped on the boys' shoes. I've seen boys, because of their anger, the most dangerous thing that they could carry is a weapon, especially a gun, and they'll shoot you because they were angry that you might have looked at his girl. And this is why so many boys are shooting each other in Chicago, is because there is no rule of order when it comes to gangs anymore. See, the gangs of the 1960s and 70s, they died off. Well, there was one guy in the helm. He was the leader, and when he said there will be a truce, there was a truce around the entire city. And he was a territorial person, and he made sure that they obeyed, all right? They submitted to one guy or a captain or what have you, because it was a chaotic order in gangs, just like it is the mafia. Today, though, unfortunately, these men who raised up, they had begun to have children, and these children began to take on the spirit and the characteristics and the DNA of them, okay? Then they died off. The police arrested many of them, the kingpins, and the police killed many of them as well. I mean, you look at the Black Panther story on PBS. And then what happened was these children raised their children. And so the children that are in their teens and 20s are the children of these people who now have no leader. There is no leader. It's everybody fending for each other. Okay, you walked on my street, I got to kill you. Because they were not taught. I ain't talking about church. I ain't talking about the unchurched. See, y'all look at church as being, no. I see more chaos in church than I have done in the street. So it's not really about church. I know a lot of great people who go to church, but I know a lot of people who do go to church who are horrible citizens. They are murderers. They are cheaters. They are extortionists. They do everything. And they go to church faithfully. They're at church all the time. It's not about church. It's really about the home. And if you look at the Bible on how it is, it teaches us on how to rule our families or train and raise up our families. Church ain't in it. It got nothing to do with church. It got everything to do with the father and the mother on how to raise that child. Now, what he sees in home, he's going to go to church and see it. And well, what he see or what he don't see, the lack thereof, he's going to take that same attitude into the church house. And then what happens is he meets up with people who come under the same home that he did, dysfunctional. Pastors have some of the worst kids, they say. They call them the PK kids, okay? They are the worst because the pastor spend more time trying to train your child, but his child stays at home. And when pastor go to church, he leaves his child at home, and that little girl is in her room being is having sex with some guy on up the street. Okay, I've seen this over and over again, right? And he comes home, he got a pregnant daughter on the way, and then the vicious cycles happen over and over again. But I want to find out the woman's responsibility in this, and why are these black boys upset with the mama, and then he becomes upset with the girlfriend. He's upset with the wife. What's going on? I have an article here that says, what is black men's beef with black women? Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. Carolyn McIntyre, Elder Kevin McGee, you can help me out here as well. Tell me, man, you're a pastor with a black son. Why are our black children upset? Home training included that, Natalie, you're saying. I should have read you earlier because I'm not sure what you're referring to. There's a song that I do want to play by the great Fred Hammond. Okay, I want to get these songs in because it's not Father's Day. I don't want to play these songs on Father's Day because Father's Day will be the time where we celebrate the good fathers. We ain't talking about no bad daddies on Father's Day. Nope. Today we can. We need to find out. This song's called My Father Was. It's by Fred Hammond. He did this on the Purpose by Design album. Came out March 21st, 2000. There it was. Okay? We'll play that, and then we'll play the answer to it at 5 o'clock. And see what is he talking about in this song, because Fred Hammond was not raised by his natural father. Kirk Franklin had an issue as well. And look at all these recording artists and find out what in the world, why do they act the way they do. My nephew plays for Fred Hammond, and so trust me, there's more things that I know about him that I cannot and will not talk about. But there is some anger there in Fred Hammond, and you will hear it in some of his songs because of the lack of his father. My Father Was. So Walter Jones Show.
Oh no, did you miss part of today's show? Well, just head to Spreaker.com. That is Spreaker, Spreaker.com, and type in the Sir Walter Jones Show to get today's episode and past ones. So do it now.
Who was there when I first opened up my eyes? And who was there to heal the hurt when I first learned to ride? And who never missed a game? Celebrate me, won or lost. Yes, my father was. When adolescent years had come, who helped me understand. And when the winning point was scored, who in victory raised my hand. And when I hung my head in shame, was there to lift it up. Yes, my father was. My heavenly Father has always been there for my earthly one was gone, yeah. He's taking care of me, and I only want to be just like him. Now that I'm a full-grown man who can wipe my tears away, and who's on the other end when I lift my heart to pray, and who's always by my side to help me make it through. Yes, my Father is my heavenly Father is. Yes, He is. Yes, my Father is.
Yes, My Father Is. Wonderful song by the great Fred Hammond. You listen to the song, listen to the lyrics in the song, hear what he's saying here. He says, who was with me when I was at the game and I was pitching the ball, trying to get a home run? Who was it with me who raised me and did all these wonderful things? Who was, he says, his father, but he wasn't talking about his natural father. He was talking about his heavenly father. So apparently there was a broken home there. And many of the recording artists out there, men, they can talk about this stuff. And that's why many of them are promiscuous the way they are. They're angry. And angry men, they are angry because something happened to them. And what happens is when, and I'm talking about, I'm going to bring the women in here, especially tomorrow. But when a woman don't understand why a man is angry, she will continue to be the victim of an angry man continuously because she can't really dig deeper into his mind or his past. His past will give you all kind of answers. You don't want to talk about his past. You shut it down because you want him and you don't want to relive something with him that he probably don't want to go. But there's ways to get him to go back there so that you can understand what you're dealing with. You could be dealing with a monster and don't even know it. And all monsters there's an opportunity for them to be healed. You just have to be the one, like how some of the clever women in the Bible. Look at the Proverbs 31 women. We always hear the Proverbs 31 woman preached in our churches, especially on Mother's Day. I get tired of hearing that message because what many of the preachers fail to do is to see how she interacted with her husband and why he praised her at the gates, because there's something there that is unwritten, and sometimes we have to interpret scripture by what it does not say. there's something that got that man so geeked up about his woman that everywhere he goes, he talks about her in a positive light. Okay? There's a Laura Mitchell Smith here on my Black Man Angry Facebook Live. All right, I'm on video 2, by the way. You have to go to video 1 on Facebook Live. But before I went off, got knocked off, actually. We got knocked off, so y'all keep coming back. But Laura Smith said something that probably going to upset some of you. She says, if I was president, I would give every woman $1 million for being made second to men throughout history in all nations. And she's probably, I don't know, a woman liber, I don't know. But we've been raped, out, tortured, subdued, had to suffer raising babies while the men run off. We're held to a beauty standard that no man could understand. Everyone has been hurt by keeping women quiet and unable to pursue their God-given talents. You all should raise awareness for women. We're doing that tomorrow, Laura. If somebody can go over there on that Facebook Live Part 1, tell her we're doing the women's show tomorrow. And yeah, we'll tag her. I hear what she's saying. And this is a topical situation. This month is Mental Health Month, I think it is. Yes, and so I want to talk about it today, and then tomorrow talk about the women, because this is a problem here. Let me say something to y'all about Lisa McClendon's video. Y'all saw my video. If you didn't see it, go to YouTube and type in the Lisa McClendon effect. Go to my channel, the Sir Walter Jones channel. Type in the Lisa McClendon effect, okay? And what I did was I talked about my struggle as a child, as a teenager. I talked about my interactions with girls. I talked about how my virginity was taken. I didn't go chasing after the girl and tackle and throw her on the ground. No. She manipulated me with her mind, and my virginity was gone in an instant, and then before you know it, she was gone, and I never saw her again. It lasted like that, gone. Women many of you don't go that far into the mind of the man and find out what happened to him, which caused him to be the way he is today. And then as my body got opened, I began to try to experience with other women, and they began to let me down. Okay? And then before you know it, I turned into this guy who was very promiscuous and who wanted sex and who wanted women. And then I turned into the guy who victimized, you see? But where did it start? And we can never sit down with our booze and have this type of conversation because we don't know how to talk about this stuff with our men. But let me tell you something. When I put that video up there with the Lisa McClendon thing, the women began to make fun of me. A couple of them were laughing that I was transparent by what I said, because I talked about having my first wet dream. You know, the feeling of being inside of a woman for the first time. And I opened up my heart and I opened my chest cavity and poured out my heart on that video. Was trying to fight back some of the tear thing. You didn't see it on the video, but trust me, inside I was like, what am I doing? And I realized after I saw that the couple of the women were making fun of me, why men can't talk, why men cannot open up their soul to women, because he's placed into a vulnerable place, and y'all always tell the man to open up his heart. Tell me what's really on your mind, and he says, no, I can't. You know why he keeps saying he can't? Because he's afraid that you will make light of it like those women did me. And so what happens is the man closes up. He can't talk to you. And you might be the reason why he closes up and can't express his total heart, his dreams and aspirations with you, because he's afraid that you're going to take light of it, maybe make fun of it like they did in my video. And then what happens is, not only will he not talk to you, he won't talk to anyone else, not a woman. He won't talk to her. He can't, because he's afraid. And then this built up resentment and anger is in him for years, and then like a pot on the stove, a pressure pot, it goes off. And it goes off in some kind of way, either through a violent interaction, or he will just turn around and walk away like the Incredible Hulk did back in the 70s. He would just do that little walk, and you hear that music, doom, ding, doom, ding. Okay, because he said you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Angela's saying this is the show to listen from the male perspective as to why he or they are angry and how we should react or help if possible. And I think the word that jumps out of the page there, Angela, is help. How do you help a man? Like, well, not so much me because I'm not angry. I have had anger moments, but many of you never seen me angry, okay? Because I've gotten over a lot of the things that happened to me, and the Lord has helped me through all of that stuff, so I don't really worry. But my children, they're not angry, although my son has a little anger in him because of the divorce I talked about last week. We were divorced. My son was 8 years old. And he could not understand, why is it that my father is not tucking me into bed tonight? He did it for 8 years of my life. Why isn't he not taking me to school? Okay, why isn't he not cooking my breakfast and my dinner and my lunch? Where's my father? Okay, gone. Yeah, I had visitation rights, but I could not live in the same house. So my son got angry. Now, I didn't understand that he was angry until he got older, when his mom began to say, I can't do nothing with this boy. He's doing this, he's doing that. I'm not going to tell my son's business, but he's doing this and he's doing that. And I don't understand why is he doing it. And I told her, I says, well, because when we divorced, my son he saw you as mama. He loved you as mama. He respects you as mama. But as he got older, he began to smell himself. He began to go into the environments like schools, in the neighborhoods and running the streets. And he began to see how his friends, his male friends, interact with their moms, okay? Or with girls or with women in particular. And then the absence of me not being there 24 hours. And all of that gets clouded in him. And then he started becoming angry at his mom because he didn't see mom as this wonderful provider. He began to see her as another woman in his house. Okay?
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? And then the anger set in. And I didn't know this until I had to talk to my son in 2012, and he told me, Daddy, this is why I'm angry. And he had one of them coming to Jesus meetings with me, and he had me on the phone in tears. I was like, oh, my God, I never knew this, son. I never knew this. I says, well, this will be the day of redemption for the both of us. Trust me, after this day, you're going to see myself and your mom and your situation in a different light. Now, that was 2012, I think it was, 2013 maybe. And since that time, me and my son have been closer than we've ever been before, because I didn't know, not why he was angry. I didn't know he was angry.
Oh, you didn't realize it at all?
I had not a clue that he was angry, okay? Even though I saw him acting up at the age 14, but I saw him as a 14-year-old because I acted up at 14, okay? Never once thinking, Walter, you were angry too. Why couldn't you see that your son was angry, okay?
So why were you angry at 14?
I was angry at 14
Because you was 14.
Well, 14, and plus, nobody was giving me time of day. Middle child syndrome.
Okay.
You know, the older kids were doing everything. Privileged. Girlfriends, playing their music and all that stuff. I ain't had no musical talent. You know, I'm a late bloomer. So I was jealous of their gifts and their freedom and their being able to, they had a lot of friends. I didn't. I played in the sandbox. Okay, so Mr. Lonely, it's trying to get a guy like me, a little boy who's lonely, to expose himself to the environments. It's not easy because it's like I had a lot of questions, but I didn't have that person there to answer the questions for me. My father was out working.
I think that's, and not to diminish you and your experience, but I think that's the position or the condition of a lot of 14-year-old boys,
yeah.
Not knowing who they are or what their purpose is. All they know is that they have this longing and this desire to do something,
right? And
they need some direction. They
that's
need some
true.
Coaxing, and to couple it with whatever the external situations are that would stir anger, be it loneliness, be it awkwardness, be it dealing with the emotional impact of divorce. You know, because I can relate to that 14-year-old that was lost trying to find their way.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
And I could see, when I was on the verge of having a split family, I thank God He gave me the wherewithal to remember how I felt when I was living it. So I was always ever present. Then I realized that anger was going to come anyway.
Sure.
And that anger, fortunately, I'm at home now to see the anger develop. And I think I have a good relationship with my children. But I see that, I think it's growing pains more than anything else.
I agree.
And what happens is, as we grow intellectually, we lose something relationally.
Right.
Because sometimes we analyze stuff, and then I reflect, now, when I acted like this, I got knocked out.
Yep. Yeah.
And I wasn't mad no more.
You get knocked out by your mom?
Mom or dad.
Be sure.
Most knocking was done by mom because you didn't want dad.
No, you didn't. No.
You'd rather mom, because even though
true.
dad wasn't as long, dad was quicker. He was more impotent.
Yes, he was.
You know, so the fear of dad had weight, and as is, I tried to emulate that model in my home. My son, who's now 17, had a little tete-a-tete with him about something as simple as the trash.
Sure.
And, okay, Dad, he didn't say no, but he didn't do it.
Right.
I said, you saying okay is like saying no to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, sir. Now there's a sarcasm. And I said, you're forgetting one thing. You're my son, so I know what that means.
Sure. That makes sense, yeah.
You know, he goes, what? I mean, it means I'm going to do it. No, it means okay. Just different language. You're using synonyms.
Sure.
You think you're slick.
Right.
Then, of course, we go back and forth trying to prove to me that he wasn't trying to slick me. And then I ended the state conversation with, you new to the game, I'm true to the game.
Right.
Now, game over.
Sure.
Get out with that trash. And if you don't get up now, I'm going to take the trash out, and then I'm taking you out behind it.
Yeah. That makes sense, man.
But then there's the anger then. Because
the anger.
All this over a bag of garbage.
Yes.
And I said, exactly. All this over a bag of garbage. Because the garbage was nothing, right? He says, right, ain't nothing but some garbage.
Right.
How come you couldn't take it out? When you think about it and you compare it to all that you've gotten, all that you received from me, you want to take it and flip it on me when you should be grateful and glad, because I guarantee you there's at least 20 kids, 20 young boys out there that would be glad to take the trash out from me.
Oh, my goodness.
So sometimes these angry young people are angry because they're not reminded of how good they got it.
That's good, man. That's a great analogy.
We have a great travesty of ungrateful generation.
A great travesty and I think Lady Rochelle is saying, in my opinion, it is systematic. Truly, I brought that up earlier in the show. Our boys and men are in a system that wasn't designed for them to succeed.
And it's subtle. Even the newest commercials have it.
Sure do.
The newest commercial with Meineke, a car repair shop.
Sure.
Guy was having me time. Lift up the brand new grill, and he said, steak. The wife walks over and says, the mechanic says, you got 5 minutes to get it there, otherwise you got to wait till next week. He has to stop grilling his steak to take the car in and get fixed, and you just on the phone gossiping.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So they're trying to say you don't have to deal with that inconvenience, but they're looking at the subtleties of taking away the castle from the black man. Anybody else, my home is my castle. The man is served in everybody's house but our community. He's the servant.
True. That is so true.
If he's home, he's the servant. Or he's an angry man. You
remember that commercial, the cereal commercial with the black father, the
heart.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay. What really upset people was, of course, the interracialness, because there's still a lot of bigots out there.
Yes.
But what also upset a lot of the white people was the black man was laying on the couch, resting, and the white woman had brought in the groceries or whatever. Okay, she's in the kitchen doing whatever. All right, and they looked at as here's another lazy black man, shiftless. Okay, absolutely. All right, now let me finish what Rochelle is saying here.
I'm sorry, Rochelle.
She says there is no guaranteed legacy to succeed by their fathers, working to position them to to have a future. There are no fathers holding down the black household to help raise the boys to be men. And then all of the ladies that are being put on them as boys than giving meds to cover of the real problem. Cover up the real problem. That's what she's saying. We expect them to rise above when they get beat down from every side through education, penal system, and in the community. She said finally, because she must be preaching, so she had to say finally. Black men as I close, black men have to get in tune with who they are. Only then they will know the power they possess. Now, I think she's perfect to say that because we had her son on the show. Okay, military man.
Oh, that was her son?
That's her son.
Oh, wow.
Josh. And
wow.
you remember
that?
That interview right there.
Yes.
Really made me want to praise Rochelle even more. Mm. That boy wasn't no boy.
No, he became a man.
He became a man. And every time he opens his mouth, it's straight wisdom come out of his mouth. Raised by that woman right there. Okay? So I let people like that talk. Preach, let's see. Preacheress Church. What are you saying? I can never say your name right. Preacheress Church. Okay.
Preacheress. Oh, my
Preacheress.
God.
Yeah. There must be a way to recover totally after hurtful experiences by both men and women to be open to new relationships. Are we just all no good no more after that first love, heart hurt? Woo.
Good question.
That's a great question. Yeah, are we just no good anymore? Brony says, my son still harbors anger against myself and his dad. Absolutely. Okay, now this is something that she knows. Look at what happened to us, because a lot of this is bred from the times that in the 1960s when the president had this great idea to help the families out by giving them public assistance. But the woman who had children, we can help you, but you got to get that man out the house. And I think that was LBJ. Okay, we can only give you money if that man is out the house, and you start seeing this in the movies, like what's the movie? Claudine, the movie Claudine. All right, and so what happens was the man was being kicked out of the house. He was already kicked out of opportunity through going higher in the company.
Yes.
All right.
He
couldn't elevate in the company. Then he goes home and the government said, you got to get out. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now he's got to fend for himself. And his frustration happens. Many womanizers are frustrated. Mm. And so they lay their seed everywhere. That's their way of relief. And then they have all these children.
And they're not trying to lay seed. They're just trying to get past the stress of life.
The stress.
That's therapy for them.
There sure is. Absolutely.
Whether people want to accept it or admit it or not.
Whether you want to accept it or not, okay? And please have your minds open what we're saying here. Open up your minds, ladies, because I know you're hearing stuff and you're like, no excuse. You will never be helped. Okay? And I said that in the video. You guys will never be helped because you can't understand. When I talked about the Lisa McClendon issue on how her husband she's noticed how he was cheating after cheat after cheat. Matter of fact, when he went to, when he was hitting on her, she was married. And then she wound up marrying him. Now she can't understand how he could do what he did. But I look at all the responses from the women who's saying, girl, you did a great thing by exposing them. But I said to myself, and in the video, who's going after that man to help him heal? Because he's hurt, which is the reason why he's doing all of the cheating that he's doing. And you pastors out there who are only preaching a one-sided gospel, whether it's prosperity or whether it's because, you're like a harem. You have a harem anyway. You're like this. Is it a sheik? Is that what they call them? They have harems? Many of these pastors are sheiks.
Well, you don't have to be a sheik to have a harem, but yeah.
Yes, they're sheiks. And these women come to these church houses and they sit up under the sheik. And don't let the man be single. Oh, my God. Y'all put on the best skirt.
Every week, every service.
Sit on the front row.
A single pastor that's good looking and has charisma has a serious, faithful following than an anointed man who may be married and not unmarried, or an anointed man who may not be as good looking. Mm-hmm. He has a huge faithful following strictly because of his appeal, his appear, and his potential to be theirs.
Absolutely. Yes, and I've seen this too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had an epiphany of it. I'm like, what makes certain churches grow other than others? And you have, that could be another show. Why does this church grow over that church?
That is a great show.
But when I was thinking of some that were renamed nameless, I thought about it. Started out single. And it's funny because it came up watching old 60s TV shows, watching reruns. The most famous reruns had men that were stars. Bonanza, all single men, the father, no wife. Andy Griffith, no wife,
That's true.
but a son.
That's so
Father
true.
knows best. My
So
three
true.
sons. Even Brady Bunch started with a single man who later got married again.
So true.
I was like, at that time, women were watching TV and men were their interests, and so they made these unmarried men. That's church.
That is church.
You can start a church right now and it'll grow like that.
Oh, I believe that.
It'll grow like that.
Yeah. Look at
because everybody want to be Sister Jones.
You're right. Look at the courtship of Eddie's father.
I forgot about that one. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows. Mr. Eddie Father, and he had a woman living with him. Nobody said nothing. She was
Nobody
amazing.
said nothing. You see what I'm saying? Lady Rochelle saying a cheater does not stop cheating just because he married you. Psh, that's so true. Y'all think you can change him? Please. My three sons.
Depends on why he's a
Angelic.
cheater.
Yeah, he said my three sons.
Yep.
Yes.
Depends on why he's a cheater in the first place. If he's a cheater because he's looking for fulfillment, can you offer that fulfillment? Don't be fooled. Find out for sure first what it is he's lacking to make him come out.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, is there an empty hole? Is there something missing, period, he's searching for? He don't even know what he's looking for.
Sure.
Or is he just a straight up hoe?
Yeah, that is so true. Also, for those of you who are conspiracy theorists, because Alvin Carter is the chief presiding
quite the
bishop
chief.
of
Not quite the chief.
Who was that? The old
I'm
guy.
a post-late, not a prelate.
Yeah, post-late. And this is probably, there's some truth to it. Probably, what's the old guy, the old comedian with all, he look like Moses now. He's a chief conspiracy theorist.
I don't know if he's a theorist.
What's
Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory, yes.
Yes.
Oh, he's
the
a
died man.
chief.
I know I don't know if he's a theorist. I think he's
Yeah.
accurate.
Well, a lot of it he is accurate.
Because he lived through a whole lot.
Yeah, but he talked about...
And when people talk about Bill Cosby, I want to hear what he has to say because they came up the ranks together.
They really
and
did.
they were the ones in the Playboy Towers together and in the Playboy Mansions.
Yeah. But you're right. But he talked about how there was an what did they call it? This thing that he's saying that the white people had used to actually make many black people angry because there was these not salts. They call them. I thought
Acids, amino acids.
There's something. And some of you might be knowing what I'm talking about, but you have to go to that video on YouTube. He talked about.
I saw the clip, but I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, there's something that was in it's either the food or it's something, an agent that's placed into the blacks. I
believe it's in the Similac, in the Infamil.
Yeah, it might be.
I believe it's in the milk.
Yeah.
They was insisted that you take this and that and that. And I'm like, what happened to good old breast milk? Yeah. Feed these kids.
Feed them.
Yeah, feed them. Give them that
Let them suck. Let them suck. Come on now.
Just pump it into a bottle.
The Bible says, your breast will satisfy him all the days of your life. Woo. And if you ain't got no breast, go get you some. Doctors got this wonderful thing called surgery.
No.
And then, he can get you some. If you ain't got none, because
that's like eating chewy chicken.
Yeah. If that man wants it, go ahead, take care of your body. Make sure you build one for him. Or get him two. Bartender, can I have two?
Make that a double.
Okay. There's a way to side because what he gonna do, he gonna make some changes too for you. How about that?
Yeah, that he will do. Yeah.
I went there. Yes, I did. Brother Scott said she can't stand Dick Gregory. That's fine.
Oh, Bronya.
That's fine with me too.
Dick is good. Oops, I didn't mean it like that. Good guy.
Nope. I will not mess with that one. I cannot mess with that. Let's see. It's 5:00 in the PM, y'all. We played. What did we play? My Father Was by Fred Hammond. Played that at 4:30. This is the second half of that song. This one's called Our Father. Okay, this is him coming out of it and saying, he began to worship the Father because of the lack of his father. Yeah, Anthony Thomas, that's Alvin Carter, man. I'm the straight guy. He's, 1 minute. Am I Laura or you Hardy? I mean, I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Who's on first?
Who's on first? We're going to do the news first, and then we'll do Fred Hammond, Our Father. So, the Jones Show.
Oh no, Oh, did you miss part of today's show? Well, just head to Spreaker.com. That is Spreaker, SPREAKER.com, and type in The Sir Walter Jones Show to get today's episode and past ones. So do it now.
Investigative reports, May 21st to the 22nd. Man, that's yesterday's news. Warmer weather, increased crime. As Chicago launches into warmer weather, the expectations of crime will increase. Crime stats from this weekend alone report 5 killed and 40 more wounded. That's only what's reported to the media. Superintendent Johnson of the Chicago Police Department is stressing the importance of involving from parents, residents, clergy, community leaders, police, and judges. Johnson also stated that our city needs more home values, fewer guns, and stronger sentences against violent offenders. Coffee breaks, ends in tragedy. What seemed like any other day to Yvonne Nelson was shortened in just seconds. The 49-year-old 311 operator for the Office of Emergency Management and Communication was caught in gang crossfire as she walked out of the Starbucks coffee shop, 35th Street. She was taken to Stroger's Hospital and pronounced dead. The intended target, age 19, who was also a gang member, had only a graze to the buttocks and is in stable condition. Everywhere else in news, the addiction of Bubba, a terrier mixed puppy, tested positive for heroin, meth, and nicotine after being rescued during a drug bust in Tustin, California. Police arrested 2 people after finding large quantities of drugs in paraphernalia at a hotel. The dog was found there and showed signs of being under the influence. The Orange Animal Care treated the dog's addictions. Owners face animal cruelty charges. Bubba will go to a new home. Here's the week's weather forecast. Expect daytime temps to range in the upper 70s to lower 80s. Evening temps will hit upper 50s to mid 60s. We may see rain showers throughout the week. The weekend looks clear with temps near 80 degrees. Stereotypes about black men. You ready for this list? Here you go. Stupid, irresponsible, dropouts, incarcerated, fathers leaving their children, love fried chicken and Kool-Aid, athletic, violent live in the ghetto and the projects, generation loud, obnoxious, rude, bad attitudes, disrespectful, hoodlums, poor, dirty sex, drugs, porn, guns, low job expectations, and speak different English. That's the list, y'all. You can make a change. From Marilyn Keeter for the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Because
following show is paid programming and does not necessarily express the views and opinions of Urban Broadcast Media and its subsidiaries. Thank you for listening to UBM Praise.
Today is Monday, and that means it's the Men Chronicles, a women's guide to men. No, we are not from Mars, but we are from homes that raise us correctly and, more importantly, godly. Get to know us a little better in the Men's Chronicles, right here on the Sir Walter Jones Show.
Papa was a Rolling Stone, y'all. Wherever he laid his hat, man, why was that just his home? There's something in this song. I thought I played this as an underbed because of what he's saying in this song.
Yeah.
This is part of the anger. Because look how what he was saying about his father through the words of his mother, though.
Definitely.
Yeah, because he's asking questions about father and mama.
And mother doesn't realize
that
soon that son will become a father. Mm-hmm. And the only model he has of a father is the image that you project to him about his dad. Mm-hmm. There's natural contention between father and son because it's the alpha male situation. And a father, a real man, don't mind having that tension because he knows that that's the development and the making of him as a man. It's that mother who has to say, wait, that's your father. Listen, wait, that's your father. One of the best scenes I ever saw in the movie The Bachelor. Not The Bachelor, the Butler, I'm sorry.
Butler.
Throughout that movie, the mother and the oldest son, the father and the oldest son, they had the battles because of differing views and opinions. And it's natural to see. And the mother, she would try to soft talk the dad, but she never crossed him per se. She may have went behind his back subtly to accommodate him and appease him, but she never crossed him in front of the son. And she never disrespected the father in his authority. Right. She may have said out of his sight, I know what your daddy said. Okay, don't call me now. He's home right now. Here, I'm going to send you something to make sure you're awake. That's what mother's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. She's supposed to cover the men she birthed and the men she loved. Right. I mean, she's supposed to do that. That's just innate in her to do. Mm-hmm. It comes without asking. But the minute that boy disrespected his father in his house to a point where the father was about to lose it, the mother lost it because she no longer saw him as threatening the father threatening the son, but the son or another person, a man at this time, disrespecting the man that provides for me. Yeah. And I love that scene when she says, how dare you, this butler, this hand shuffling has paid your way through college and blah, 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 and taken care of you all these years. She made him see the greatness of his dad. Yeah. Mothers, a son can learn all the tools and the skills from the dad, and he's going to always honor you. Every athlete, hi, mom, but who taught him how to throw? Who taught him how to catch? The father did. Your job is to say, thank your dad. Your job is to say, yeah, but if it wasn't for your dad.
I love it.
And what's funny is this, and in this great feminist movement we see throughout church, and we talk about how women see the word of God different than men see the word of God. Right. They don't have no problem addressing him as father or as God or as the man. Right. They know that their help comes from him and not her because it's innate for them also to honor and uphold a man.
That's true. Wow. That's top notch. You guys got to go to Netflix and look at The Butler. It's there. I've saw it on Netflix a few times. That scene right there. It was Oprah Winfrey played.
Oprah played that role. I mean, that
was the best.
She
scene
was
in the
supposed to get an Academy for that scene. If nothing else.
She should have.
She called it that. She
slapped him in the face. Didn't she?
She slapped him.
Yes.
He was so shocked that she did that.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what? That was also her protection. That was her protecting him.
Protecting him, yes.
Because daddy's hit would have been much more
It would have
severe.
been worse. It would have been.
It wouldn't have been a slap.
No.
It would have been a rage. He might have killed him.
Yeah, that's so true. That's good.
He might have killed him.
And so that's the again the purpose of the woman being in the child's life. It's for strength. You see, what happens is the boy is being taught to not cry, man up. You're a sissy if you do this, if you do that, if you walk this way, if you dress this way, yada, yada, yada. Okay? That's by the mother. The boy grows up to become a man, and then his sister and the sisterhood treats him another kind of way. They take him through another step, another level of disrespect, really in a sense. Because they will try to down or deplete his manhood. They chop off his balls when he's an adult.
Yes.
The mama was doing that when he was a child, which means that now he's over-nurtured.
Under father.
He's under father, okay. And then he began to, I looked on YouTube. I typed in YouTube, why are men angry? Black men. Why are black men angry? All right? Now watch this. 90% of those videos came from other black men. Okay?
Okay.
Other black men talking about, and you know what many of them were saying?
What's that?
I was angry at my mom. I come up
later on they found out.
They said my mom is why I'm angry.
Because she taught them how to be angry.
Yes. Now this is coming from men's mouths. I know you women saying, no, that can't be true. Why would you not hear when a man's speaking from his heart? You know, we talk about this all the time when I'm invited to these women panels. All right.
They won't invite us back no more.
They don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they invite me back.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
My fault.
It's the women in the audience, the men in the panel. I'm one of the chief speakers at these events. Okay, you asked me the questions, what have you. It never fails. I've never been to any of them where the women ask a man a question about a man, and the man tells you the answer, and the women say, "Nope, that can't be right."
We went to one.
Which one was that?
The one we went to
on the west side
with Yvette.
I was shocked.
With Yvette for we did go to one, and one of them challenged, and the other one said, "Stop, wait."
The other one did. That's true.
They're telling us something.
They're telling us right.
One of them stopped him and said, "Listen, y'all, they telling us something." We do, and they listened.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know if they heeded,
but the attempt was still there. You see what I'm saying?
It was still there. But it was stopped.
Yeah, it had to be stopped. And it was stopped by the women. You see, that was a good thing. But that's the problem why the sisterhood is so broken, because the men are pouring out their hearts and telling you, really, this is why I'm doing what I do, and can you help me? There are a lot of men who are saying, can you help me? And some of you won't help him because you say, you're a man now. You put on your own drawers, your own pants. But he's asking you, he's begging you for help. And a lot of times he don't beg you from his mouth. He begs you, he's telling you through the way he acts. And I think it was Maya Angelou was the one who said, if a man is showing you, who he is, believe him. I think that's what she's saying. Natalie Bullock is saying, would you say the mainstream acknowledging the value of our culture diminishes the value of theirs?
Great question.
So they have to make us feel like their ice is colder, so we will keep buying theirs.
Excellent question. Excellent statement.
That's deep, isn't it?
Yes.
Man, goodness.
And you know where that comes from?
What?
That comes from the great discovery they made when we kept pursuing equality and integration versus segregation. The reason segregation has diminished, not so much because they decided that they love us so much, they discovered how profitable it was.
Yeah.
Because they said they got some good spending habits. So we ain't got to love them, but we can sure keep their dollar.
Right.
But Booker T. Washington kept saying, cast down your buckets where you are. And then when they realized we discovered how good we had it on our own,
right,
they come in and destroy ours, so we be forced to take their allegedly cold ice. And they tell us, or they show us, it's funny, we moved to a new neighborhood because we want a better life. But it's the same people that's coming to the neighborhood.
Same ones.
So what makes the different? The geography isn't different.
Right.
The geography is different, but it's still the same demographic.
Sure.
So what makes you think if all of y'all move over here, it's going to be better?
Sure.
No, it has to be a change in your mindset and your mentality.
That's true.
Because if you tear up this house, you're going to tear up that one
too.
too.
You can tear wherever you go. Absolutely.
If you're going to tap that block, you're going to tap that block.
Lipstick
I'm
on
looking
the
at
pig.
my neighborhood change.
That's exactly what it is. It's lipstick on the pig. Yvette Ford. Hey, girl, we just got to talk about you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you.
I'm a prophet.
The great Yvette. She'll be back on the show soon.
Really?
Yeah. She's
All
got
right.
Spirit. She's got a wonderful event coming up. Her release is coming out, and oh my goodness, June's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Brother Scott says the worst thing a mother could ever do is talk bad about her children's father. This is so true. I've seen a lot of this happen. Okay, in the relationships, I've heard a lot of women talk about how one or the other. They'll say, "My mom never downed my father with us when we were coming up." Yeah, he was a Rolling Stone, but she never did that. She always supported. She always uplifted him.
Okay.
You know, so when we got older, even though we found out that he was a Rolling Stone later on.
Dad?
No.
Oh,
no, not my dad.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, man, what you talking about? I ain't gonna believe that. Don't be lying on your dad like that.
Not my daddy. My daddy loved him some Evelyn.
Your dad is a square rock.
It's straight
Ain't no
square.
Rolling Stone. He's a square rock. He ain't pushing him.
My daddy is deep in love with my mom. Buddy Gill saying, from a baby to a boy to a man.
Yes.
We're taught you can do and be anything you want to be and do. Then as we face the daily challenges of manhood and of life, we're taught to man up, to carry your own load, to keep it all together. You have to stand on your own 2 feet. No matter how hard we try, we have to deal with the failures, closed doors, never having enough. You can't trust others and therefore have no outlets or recourse while receiving the daily whippings of criticisms for coming up short. And this applies to men from all walks of life, those who are educated or not, and those who get up early and go to bed late, working hard to make it happen. It makes you want to holler. He just ended the show.
Makes you want to holler.
Buddy Gill just ended the show because he's right. Because you're telling me I can be anything I want to be. You told me that all my life. Now I get to a place where society is telling me you cannot be because they put on these challenges on me, that is, okay? Now where's my father or my father figure? Because my mom, well, yeah, she's been lifting me up and taking me to a certain level, but I know now I need to get something from a man. Because boys grow up and they're looking for a man. They're looking for a man that they can trust.
Yes.
Okay? And when they don't find that man, they keep searching. They're always searching. All right? Meanwhile, they messing with woman after woman after woman. I think that's part of the search. Okay? And we'll have to find a medical term for it. I don't know, a psychological term. But the men are absent. So that's why I'm putting the pressure on the pastors who keep saying, he's my spiritual father. But why are you allowing me and other men to act the way we do if you're my spiritual father? You're not doing nothing but preaching from the pulpit.
It's a catch-22 because you can't stop a person to doing what they're doing. You can preach against it. You can talk about it, but you can't stop it because he ain't raping nobody.
Right.
We gotta own up to the fact that one starts it, but it takes two to finish. Sometimes both started.
Sure.
Now, spiritual fathers, I say that there's a place for mentorship.
Right.
But I think we have to be careful who we put that title on.
That's my point.
You know, I think Paul said we had 1,000 teachers, but only one father. You know, you be careful with that.
Right.
Because that'll change. Because if your spiritual father dies, you're going to get another.
Right. You're going to be searching for another one.
You're going to be searching for another one.
Yes.
Because you've put this label or
that you have to have a spiritual
mantle
father
on somebody. When
sure.
You can have several teachers and let God, the Father, by way of the Holy Ghost, be your father.
Yeah.
If your natural father's gone.
That's good.
I did that. I'm guilty of it. And I vowed that I wasn't going to do it again because I honestly didn't develop a real good relationship with my biological father until years later after he came home, and I got to spend the last 2 years of his life with him. But I had already laid a mantle of fathership on another man. And the irony is that he died about 2 years later. So I wept at my biological father's, but my spiritual father, and you know him well, I felt that missing. Sometimes a boy needs that. Right. God blessed me with several men I could pull from, but he taught me how to be a father. I watched him father his children. He wasn't perfect, but I watched how he covered his family, adored his wife, sacrificed and did what he had to do to make sure everybody associated with him was happy and needed what they needed, got what they needed, and some of what they wanted. That was that model for me.
Sure.
So I said all that to say this. There's no excuse for some men who say, my daddy was going to have no example.
No excuse.
You can find one.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of them out there. It really is.
And there's many men who, I mean, in fact, that's what the gangbangers do. The chief becomes their example of a father.
That's right.
You can find one. Some of those men who get turned out by other men. It's because of that same thing.
You're right.
You find it if you know what you're looking for.
That's so true. Yeah, and that person who you find it in, he builds this aspect, this house of a father. You know, this look, not look physical look, but the whole character of a father. He says, that guy right there, he must be who I'm looking for. And then he brings you into his lair.
And for me, it wasn't something I don't think this person deliberately did. It turns out that I think he saw my need, or he saw the potential in me and the need of me needing that mentorship. And he never once imposed it. He just made himself available. It's like opening the door. You can come in if you want to. I didn't necessarily invite you in, but you're welcome. One of those type of situations, and I did. And it was what I needed for that moment.
Yeah.
It's what I needed for that moment. And I'm grateful, ever grateful for that man.
Wow.
And he wasn't the most literate. He wasn't articulate in speech, but he was deliberate in action. And he was well rooted and grounded in God. He was well rooted and grounded in morality. And he was a good man. He was a hardworking man. He had all the character traits of excellence.
Sure.
May not have had all of the financial acumen, but he was rich in everything else.
Yeah. No more sheets.
Let me say this like this now.
See, I know who you're talking about.
Right. That's all, folks.
Me and you had a key to his house.
I wonder where that key at. I'm going to see if it still works. I bet it ain't changed.
We had the key to that man's house. Demetri Triplett says, right, Alvin, it's about the mentality of the people. When we as women change our POV about our men, we will begin to treat them differently. We will change how men view themselves. When we show them, we view them as our strength. Natalie says mothers cannot father. So true. They cannot. And father can't mother. Demetrius also saying young men need to know they matter, just like older men. Knowing someone cares for you makes a difference. And that's true.
Yes.
Everybody needs a leader. They look for a leader. Men look for leaders. Now, they're not in your church because they don't look at that particular leader you women found as a leader. He don't see that as a leader.
No, unless he's a weak man.
Yes.
Or he's that same kind of man who feels like he can model that.
Absolutely. Right.
So if you got a preacher that is a pimping preacher, he's like, okay, I like I like his game. I'm gonna model his game. I'm gonna follow
model his game.
But if he's a man's man and this man is not a man's man, I'm not sitting under that.
That's so true.
Or he gonna stand there. He gonna go and make sure he protecting his own interests.
Yep. That's it, Doc. That's it. That's why y'all don't see good men in y'all's churches, because who y'all say is a good leader ain't a good leader to us. No. This is the myth of the angry black man's. I'm sorry. The myth of the angry black woman is driving a wedge between the sexes. Black men have seemingly declared war on black women. And it's getting real, it's saying. It's no secret that the battle of sexes is something that existed since Adam blamed Eve for biting that forbidden fruit. For centuries, men and women have been at odds over their biological and physiological differences, or psychological differences, that is, both legitimate and not. For men and women of color, however, the stakes seem to be at an all-time high. Whether it's baby mama versus baby daddy drama or the delicate topic of dating outside one's race, Black men and black women just can't seem to see eye to eye. And I think a lot of that has to do with not Jim Crow, but the letter.
Yeah, Willie Lynch letter.
Willie Lynch letter. All right. And the Nally nailed it by saying it's systematic. Okay, this goes all the way back to Doc Willie Lynch, and then all through slavery, and then, of course, the Willie Lynch, he said that this will last
300 years.
300 years. That's been 300 years. Okay, just look at the way critics, mostly men, came to the defense of rapper Future and assailed a social media attack against Sierra for bringing their young son around her new boyfriend, NFL star Russell Wilson. Y'all know this is an old topic. But still, Sierra was publicly shamed for something that, number one, is no one's business. Number two, an absolute double standard, as the singer pointed out during an interview on CBS News. He says, it's been very interesting to hear what a lot of guys have to say, Sierra said. I feel like, in a sense, it's a bit of a double standard because at one point in time when we were together, I took care of his kids as well. Azealia Banks, America doesn't like opinionated black women. Says, I was involved very early in the stage of us getting to know each other, and that's been a big conversation. It's like, it's kind of like, well, that's the difference here. She added, I think that even for the men that were outspoken, it's like, wouldn't you want someone to love on your child? Or love on the child that you are speaking about? But of course, black male critics of Sierra doesn't see the double standard. When do they ever recognize the unfair standards and expectations they place on black women? While women of color continue to be the backbone for their male counterparts and their families, they continue to badmouth black women as if it was not a black woman who pushed them out of their vagina, they're saying. Mm-hmm. In their eyes, black women are angry, crazy, and just about any other not so flattering objective you can think of. All right. And then this article continues and goes on into the deep issues of, what is the man's beef with black women. And I want to continue this topic on tomorrow, this particular article here, because I want to talk about the other side. I want to be fair by giving the other side of it, by showing why is it that women are angry and why is it that there is an antithesis, or the attack or the double standard towards men. Huh? Oh, you got a controversy going, man? We haven't done that in so long, man. Good Lord. You good at that, man. He good at Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, but I ain't ready for this because I'm mad.
He mad. He mad. Yeah, let's give him an opportunity to do that thing. What Demetrius saying, young men need to know they matter. I read that already, didn't I? Dennis Griffin, how you doing, Elder? It's good to see you, man.
Dennis.
Yeah, Dennis. That's the brother.
That boy.
I always tell everybody, that man right there showed me my first couple chords. And,
really?
Yep. He showed me my first song. He was the first man that sat down and says, here's how you play the piano. Dennis, that's the man. And since that time, yep. And he's responsible for my music career.
Because he's one of the people that talk. I'd come up and they would mention you.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Wow.
I know all you guys came up at order together.
Oh, yeah.
I should have transferred.
Yeah. You should. Yep, the great Dennis Griffin is responsible for me doing what I do today. Sierra says, if another man loves my child or children as if they were his own, I don't believe the father should have a problem. Amen, Sierra. Amen. I feel the same way, girl, because when I see, I dated women who had children by, of course, another man.
Yes.
I treated them like they were my own.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because father and planter. Yeah. Husband means planter. Father means mentor, leader, coverer, provider. If you're a man, you are automatically have to assume the role of father, whether you planted them or not. Right. If you're going to take on the mother. Mm-hmm. And we did a show on this about mothers allowing the husband to discipline stepchildren. Sometimes it's it depends on who you marry, though. Too.
Sure.
Depends on who you marry. I know it's catchy. But, man, if you're going to marry that woman, you marry them babies, too.
You do. Ooh, yes, you do. Papa was a Rolling Stone. I'm going to Controversial Corner, y'all. Wherever Alvin lay his hat. Ooh. That's where his hat is. Okay. Controversial Corner. Sir Walter Jones Show.
It was the 3rd of
Politics, doctrine, current events. Let's meet at the Controversy Corner on the Sir Walter Jones Show here on UBM Praise.
Controversy, can't understand human curiosity.
This is Keep It Real Carter here at the intersection of controversy and angry black men. I ain't talking about angry birds. I'm talking about angry black men. Why are black men angry? We have reasons. History gives us many. From chattel slavery to Jim Crow to racism to an unfair playing field, from racism that has not dissipated but has actually coagulated and gotten thicker because, you know, Jim Crow has turned into Jim Crow Esquire, whereas they could hate you illegally and get away with it. Now they've made it legal to hate you because they lace it and cover it with other things. So men are angry, but you should not ever let anger consume you to the point where you take it out on your own, and that's where the problem lies. Black men are angry and we are taking it out on our own instead of coming back, rethinking, and strategizing and planning. Another reason why we're angry, because we don't respect one another and we don't know how to yield to one another's strengths. We don't know how to come together and accept the fact that you ain't all and in all. Yeah, we may all be equal, but we don't have equal skill sets. There's nowhere in the world I can fit a size 32 waist, but Walter can. But we can both wear the same color suit. So I have to respect that, even though a bigger suit is better for me. And big men look better anyway. But that's why he's angry, because he's skinny and I'm fat. Well, why are black men angry? We're angry. We have reasons, but we forget what caused the anger. We just get angry for no reason. We've turned into a generation of incredible hoax who destroy. And then once we calm down, we don't know what we did or why we did it, and we regret our anger. So here's the answer and the solution. We must try to remain calm. And nothing is more calmer than meditation. And I'm not just talking about going no yoga stuff or no Buddhism. I'm talking about meditating on the Word of God. The Bible says, be angry, because it's not wrong to be angry, but sin not. So is it, why are black men angry, or why are black men sinning? That's my controversial corner.
Ooh, are you angry? Are you sinning? Oh my goodness!
I think we're doing a whole lot more sinning than we are mad.
I think we do. That's so true, man. That is so true.
Because we so discord against each other.
We do.
We don't handle our business. Mm-hmm. We don't pay our bills. Mm-mm.
Yeah. So we're admitting to our problems of being angry, and there is a fix. All of us can be fixed. Ladies, you got to help us get fixed, though. Okay?
Yeah, we got to get out that materialism.
Man. Y'all got to help us get fixed. Don't push the anger even further, but help us. All right? Because you know what. You press that button. I've seen a man hit his woman, and I says, "Oh my God, the man should never hit a woman." But then I noticed her. She pressed his button every time.
Of course,
she kept pressing that button, and she would press that button. I says, "Oh, I get it now." And I almost got so upset I almost said, "You deserve to be beat." And then I had to repent for that, because no woman should ever be beat.
Not if you press a button.
But I kept saying, you keep
press
pressing
the elevator
button.
The door open. You wanted that to happen.
And watch this, bruh. The judges have let some abusive men go scot-free and punish the woman because he says you provoked this anger in this man. Okay, you're supposed to be helping and lift him up and help him heal, but you pushing it. And y'all
if evidence proves that he walked away and he did everything he could to avoid the conflict.
Yes, sir.
You know, we heard about that prominent ministry family that got into a debate, and then the woman followed him out. He left the facility. He walked out.
Yes.
And they followed them, grabbed him and turned him around and hit them 3 times before he finally responded.
Yes. He told me I wanted to bite him. I can say that.
Oh, my God.
Okay. That woman sparked this anger in this man that was there because, who that Solomon says, I would rather dwell on the rooftop
than to be in
the house with this contentious woman. Okay. All right. So I saw what happened in my mind.
Yeah, I did too.
He walked away and she went and grabbed him and she said, "Yo, mama."
She hit him.
And she hit him. Yep. And that was enough right there. And they punished him for it. Again, rightfully so, because you should not have that much anger where you can hit a woman. But
Hit me, I'm hitting you back.
She also should have been punished.
Hit me, I'm hitting you back.
That's what he said. All
Bible
right?
says lay hands on no man suddenly.
Yep.
Women, don't lay hands on no man suddenly.
Don't
It didn't
be
say
sudden.
nothing about no woman, though. I can hit you and let you know it's coming.
I'm not
It ain't
gonna
going to be
that.
sudden.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Where's Rodney when you need him?
Where's Rodney? Sarah says that the only time the father has an issue is when they aren't doing their part. Okay, you got something to tell me, Sarah? Carl Goins, what's up, man? He says, Unc, you got your own TV channel?
Oh.
Move over, Shaft. Unc Walk making moves. Shut up. Yeah, I can't not read what you just said. I'm not gonna read it.
What she said?
I'm not gonna read it.
I'll read it. Let me find it.
10 things never to say to a black coworker.
That's what she put?
No, I'm about to read that. I had a bad asthma attack last night.
You had an asthma attack?
Yeah, he wasn't laughing at the asthma attack. He laughing at what Brony Scott said. Yeah, man, I did. Last night, I
didn't know you had asthma.
I haven't had asthma in 40 years. Last time I remember having an attack I was 12, 13 maybe.
We are separated. We twins like
I think so.
Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito.
Yeah. Last night, it was 4 in the morning, and I couldn't breathe. And I'm coughing uncontrollably, and I'm doing like this, like as if I'm being choked to death. I said, what is this? I'm having an asthma attack. And I got nerves, and I was getting ready to, I said, Walter, okay, if this don't shake in a few minutes, you're going to have to call.
You got to go to the hospital.
You got to go to the hospital.
Yes, that's nothing to play with.
Yeah, that's nothing to play with, because my best friend at one time died in the car trying to get to his inhaler. So I got nervous, man. I'm like, am I being attacked by the
I had
devil?
a friend die on the bus.
Woo.
She died on the bus.
Yeah.
Her inhaler home was trying to get home to get to the inhaler.
Yeah, so that scared me, man. But I hadn't had one. I had asthma as a child, but shook it off.
Okay, in the future, get you some black coffee.
Black coffee, huh?
Yeah, the caffeine will relax the bronchial tubes.
Yeah.
Get on a prayer position on your knees and push the bad air out.
All right, man. Tell me, because it's been a long time since I've knew what to do. This is 10 things never to say to a black coworker. Number 1, you're so articulate. You know what that means, right?
You talk too much.
You're so articulate. No, not so much you talk too much.
Oh, art. You like art. Articulate. Art like art. Okay. You talk too much. I'm sorry.
Now, I think that means
you speak very well.
You white. You sound white.
Oh.
I think that's what they mean here. You sound too educated.
Oh, what that mean?
Yeah. Number 2, is that your real hair?
Oh, I hate to hear that.
Yeah. Number 3, you people.
Oh, I want to hit you in the mouth with that one.
You people.
Utes.
The 2 Utes. Number 4, do you eat a lot of, and then you plug in the offending stereotype in here.
Ham hocks?
Ham hocks? I don't know why.
Rutabagas.
Number 5.
Asparagus.
Why are you so angry?
Gefilte fish.
Gefilte fish. Hammy Town.
Oh, no, you did.
Number 6. Why are you acting white? Of course. Yeah, that's a no-no. Number 7. You don't sound black over the phone.
There's some credence to that, but at the same time, you go in the South, you don't know who you're talking to.
You don't, because I told them earlier on the show, I didn't know my father talked like a white man when you're talking to white people. Hello, Mr. Bob. I'm wanting to tell you, he talk like that. And then when he talked to his pastor friends, hey, man, and I was like.
And that's called professional dialect. That's what I call it.
Yeah. When we was kids, we said, my dad is talking like a white man because he's trying to blend in.
No, they'll respect you.
As children, we feel.
No.
Yeah.
I got you.
Number 8, I don't think of you as black. They're saying. Number 9, you graduated from where?
Wow.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's better than you graduated?
You graduated?
You went?
Right, you went. And number 10, of course, the N-word.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can say to 10 things you never say to a black coworker. All right, because it starts off by saying fried chicken, anyone? And you speak really well. Is that your real hair? Yada, yada.
Wow.
You think the taboo subjects and phrases would be clearly outlined and understood by all when it comes to that. What is and is not acceptable to say to your black colleague. This is an article 2009.
And that's funny because I wrestle with that with my white colleagues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I do because I try to be sensitive not to say things until I work with this guy. I never forget his name. His name was Lady, and he was such a racist that he divided the white people in different groups.
Oh my goodness!
The Italians, the Irish, the Jews,
wow,
the Lithuanians, the Yugoslavian. He knew. How do you know the difference between them? You can't tell. Look at the eyes. Look at the nose. He's from Spain. You know, because the school we worked at the time had a very diverse population. Mm-hmm. And he would just go in. I mean, oh my God, it was amazing to hear. I said, you are the ultimate racist. What do you mean? I'm not a racist. I hate everybody.
The ultimate racist.
Yeah. You hate yourself? He says, yes, definitely. I hate me worse than all. You know, but
yeah, that
was the biggest joke of it all. But I mean, anyway, I learned to be careful what to say to people after that experience with him.
Sure. Natalie says, can I touch your hair? That's another good one. Angela says, and she's heard all 10 of them in corporate America. Yeah, I know. Demetrius says, Brony, you said it much nicer than I would have concerning wanting to buy them. Uh-oh. Hey, Brittany, I think I got an A here. We'll play this one right quick. How big is that file? You know, how long is it? Okay, good. This is this file called Angry Black Man, but it's really from a white man. This is through the eyes of a white man. Okay, through the eyes. This is how white people see you. All right? Especially Republicans.
I'm already angry.
All right, let's go.
I'm already angry.
Hello, everybody. Wild Bill for America here. Thank you for watching. The new Black Panthers are strutting around Florida preaching their hatred of white people and the United States. These guys are yet another gift that liberalism has given to American citizens. I have a picture on my computer of Senator Barack Obama marching with the new Black Panthers a few years ago. Anybody surprised by that? These angry men have a message and some demands. Here are a few of them. The white man has kept us deaf, dumb, and blind and used every dirty trick in the book to stand in the way of our freedom and independence. This wicked, racist government has robbed us, and now we are demanding reparations. We want decent housing and free health care for our people. Gee, I wonder who they got that one from. We want education for our people that exposes the true nature of this devilish and decadent American society. That all black people should arm themselves for self-defense. You better think carefully about that one, guys. And that all black people should be released from prison immediately because they did not get a fair trial. Well, I have a few questions for the Black Panthers. First of all, why are you angry? Are you angry that the United States of America has done more to help black citizens than any other nation on earth? Are you irritated about the countless billions of dollars poured into black neighborhoods to raise black families out of poverty? Or perhaps you're angry that the nation's top schools offer nearly free education to blacks from poor areas regardless of their grades, even if it means denying white students who have worked hard and kept their grades high. Or maybe you're angry that employers all across America give preference to blacks when it comes to jobs and employment. And I bet you're really angry that blacks are allowed to have their own entertainment channels, Black History Month, black political organizations, and believe it or not, a blacks-only club right in the halls of Congress when no other ethnicity gets those privileges. Or maybe you're angry that as children, many of you were abandoned by your fathers, and you had to grow up in a home where your house, your food, and your clothes were provided by welfare checks. Well, guess who went to work every day and paid taxes so that you could have those welfare checks? We did, the working class people of America, the people that you are spitting on today. John Wayne had a saying. He said, life is tough. It's tougher if you're stupid. This is Wild Bill for America. Thank you for watching, and God bless America again.
That was
if I saw him,
I'd help you.
I'd slap.
Yeah, I'd help
I'd
you.
slap him.
I'd help you. Hey, Alvin.
No, ask me about that right now.
Okay. Oh, my God. And then he topped it off by bringing in Mr. America himself, John Wayne, of all people.
Wow.
Okay.
Who didn't even want to, he was ashamed of his own name.
Yeah.
And now he says they have the only private club or the only club in Congress. No other ethnicity has that. Well, half of y'all don't know who y'all are.
Right, you don't even know who you are, really, pretty much.
We's a black caucus. I mean, you got your own caucuses. It's just not popular or public.
And you can have a club if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, all you Italians get together, all you Irish congressmen, all you Jews, whatever.
And he had the nerve to say we have our own black television station.
No, y'all own it.
You see what I'm saying?
Johnson sold it.
Straight sold it.
Wow, no.
It's a piece of crap.
Oh, my God.
BET's a piece of crap.
I don't even watch it no more.
Yeah.
It used to be black entertainment television.
Yeah, you're right. We had a 10 o'clock news on there. We had good entertainment.
First thing they did was got rid of Tavis.
Yep, they got rid of Tavis and that and stock going. PBS picked him up.
Yes, because he has quality programs.
Quality.
My God.
And hey, Alvin, are there more black people on public aid than whites?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
There's not enough of us to outnumber them on public aid.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you ask how many of the other ethnicities are on public aid?
Yeah, that's so true.
Because you got one guy who represents 5 different people.
Yeah,
that's on public aid, and he owns the gas station. So he owns the gas station on the corner. Mm-hmm. Then he doesn't have a social security number, but he got 5 different names that he uses. He's Muhammad, Ahmed, and Patel, whatever, all these different names that he can give to identify himself. And he goes, because they all look alike, and they get link card. He takes the same link card, goes to Aldi's, and buys stuff on sale, and puts it in his convenience store in the corner, and pay double the price.
Double the price. Sure.
And so we're the crooks.
Right.
We're the criminals. No, that's another reason to get mad, actually.
Yeah.
Because we can't even get a link. And we work every day.
Yeah. Sierra, did you see what BT said about the Prince tribute? No, I didn't. Pure shade. No, what did they say, Sierra? Because Madonna did the tribute, right?
Okay.
I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to see it.
I know my brother Larry posted on there, and he wasn't happy, first of all. But I think because of the choice of who they use to do the tribute. They did that before with somebody. They used somebody who didn't need to do the tribute for. Who was that last year? I can't remember.
They always pick the wrong person.
Oh, I think it was, what's the woman that wear all these weird clothes on?
Lady Gaga?
Yeah. She did tribute to somebody last year.
Yeah, but she probably would have been a good candidate because her range and her versatility.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed her tribute because of her versatility. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really don't care if it's a black or white person.
No, as long as it's quality. Because
as long as it's quality.
Levine from Maroon 5.
Sure.
They, on The Voice, they did a Prince tribute a few years back. Mm-hmm. Man, they did great. They did a medley of Prince hits as the opening of the show. Him and CeeLo Green and the singers from, I mean, even the Country Boy killed it. So it doesn't matter if it's a good artist. A good artist can pay tribute to another good artist because he's a quality musician.
Right. This is true.
But when you got people who just doing crap or who's stuck in a zone, now like they did that Smokey Robinson tribute, and what's the boy? All of me wants all of you.
Oh, yes. What's
maybe? I can't think. Anyway, he did Quiet Storm. It was the worst Smokey Robinson tribute I ever seen.
He's on the list as being
soft and warm. Okay.
He did Selma, the Selma song.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, y'all know his name. Listen, I've missed a great show. Yes, you did. Catch you tomorrow. More on aid and disability. Yeah. Morley in Appalachian on aid and disability than in
Indiana. Yeah, Appalachian. Oh, yeah. Them the white black folks.
The white black folks.
They more ghetto than we are.
She says John Legend.
John Legend, that's his name.
Who is on a list of those who really can't sing. He's on that list.
He should be.
He's on a list with Real Love. What's her name?
Mary J.
Mary J. Can't sing. Mm-hmm. He's about 10 of them. But we hail as being great singers. They just got a good gimmick. They got great songs.
Well, all you need is a good song.
Yeah. Yeah. Sierra says, they said, we saw that. We got you covered. And they posted the advertisement of the BET Awards Prince tribute airing on June 26th.
Yeah, because I don't think it happened yet.
No, I saw the...
I think they're advertising it, but I don't think that show is actually aired yet.
Oh, you mean they taped it? You saying? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think it's aired.
No, I saw Madonna and Stevie Wonder singing Prince song on stage.
Well, that seemed like that'd be a good combination.
They showed it on like a preview on the news.
Okay, preview. Okay, so maybe that was a taping of it.
Either that's a taping or it aired last night, and I just don't know what channel it was on. I don't know. Y'all help me out. Did it air? Come on, y'all help me out.
We was at church.
David O'Neill says BET posted a picture talking about the tribute last night.
Okay.
And how they will do a better tribute at the BET Awards. Yes, thank you, David O'Neill. That was funny, very subtle on the bottom of the ad. Yeah, so I can't wait to see what their tribute is going to be, which I know they're going to kill it. They're going to kill it. Yeah. But that's cute. BET says we saw that. Now it's coming in clear, and I understand what y'all saying. That's great. Billboard Awards. Yeah. Yeah, that was yesterday.
Oh, the Billboard Awards.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, nah,
I quit watching it.
I quit watching it too. I'll only watch it if I know that there's a tribute like that for someone who passed.
But it used to be so classy to see.
It used to be classy. All of these shows, American Music Awards, used to be great. The Soul Train Awards,
they were learning experiences.
Yeah,
I want to see how they did it. Their approach now, man.
And the biggest, of course, is the Grammys. It used to be great and classy, and just now it's just all downhill. Everybody and your mama want to get a shock value.
Formality is gone out the window in order.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here because we just talking about music shows and stuff, and we all way off the topic.
But that's because we're angry, and music is one of the things that subtle.
We peed off.
That calms us down, and that's how we express ourselves.
That's so true. Do music,
and one of the reasons why the anger is perpetuated is through some of the music that they are allowing to come out, or they're pushing to be released, as opposed to music that gets us awake. They use music. I think that the advent of rap music and hip-hop, not hip-hop, because hip-hop was a happy sound initially.
Right.
But now everything you hear is anger.
It is.
And debaucherous.
Sure.
And just negative.
That's true.
And the positive songs seem to go nowhere. And you can't tell me they don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to play it. Because I didn't want to hear Stay With Me, but it became a hit because you kept playing it.
That's true.
What's going on?
Right.
What's going on?
What's going on?
And to prove my point, there's a whole generation of young people who love Dusties.
There is.
I mean, my son was into Ambrosia last night. I want you to know about Ambrosia.
Both my children in their young 20s knew all the songs we played on the show last week about. What was the name of the show?
Blue Eyed Soul.
Blue Eyed Soul. They knew them all.
Yeah.
They I don't see her. I know you got an old soul too. It's in our music. It really is.
So my point is oh my God, and they don't even have the level of quality and skill set that the predecessors had. And they just keep pushing it and pumping in there because it perpetuates the fortune and failure we talk about.
The fortune and failure, absolutely.
And it's permeated our gospel music. I mean, because even in the gospel music, it sounds like a big hole in it.
Sure.
There's a lot of riffs and talented, but there's no substance.
Yeah.
How you have bump music with no 1-4 snare?
Yeah, it's bad.
They got it. It's just all the kicking. Yeah. I'm not saying it has place, but now it's become. Anyways,
it's robotic. It's really what it is. Back in the day when we didn't call it bump. We just called it shop music, and there was almost a type of anointing to it. Okay?
Oh, it stirred something.
Yeah,
definitely.
It stirred something in it. But now it's
systematic.
It's what's that thing? It's metromonic.
Oh, like a metronome.
Metromonic. Okay. Yeah. Go to the show we did called Schizophrenia versus Donny Hathaway. All right, we did a show called Schizophrenia versus Donny Hathaway, and you will see what we're talking about here with the anger and how the anger was celebrated in the music. But when it comes to an angry man outside of the music, that's a whole nother effect.
Yeah, but the anger that he expressed was not.
It was sickness.
Volatile.
Sure.
And then there was sickness in it. Now we got to do another show. Donnie versus Stevie.
Donny Hathaway versus Stevie Wonder. Really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you see that? You see that kind of comparison?
You can't vocally and musically arranged.
Okay. Well, I mean, the discography is too large for Stevie, so...
Oh, no. You have to just stay within the realm of his life, the lifespan of Donny Hathaway.
That makes sense.
And parallel it with the Stevies.
Get me out of here, Brittany. I want to apologize to Barack Obama and Michelle Obama.
Now he mad.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to interview
50%
you.
angry.
So we'll get you in tomorrow on Pink Perspective tomorrow. We'll talk about why women so angry. Why black women? Why y'all so angry?
I got a question.
Bitter. We're going to find a woman. And it might be you that's going to be on the show tomorrow.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Now, after this term, if Barack, he's a citizen of where he's from. No, he's not a citizen of Hawaii.
The
African nation. Kenya, yeah. If he goes to Kenya and get elected, will he be their first white president?
That's pretty good. That's a great... No.
I said he's not a citizen of Hawaii in the sense of the nation.
You should do a show about when hip-hop went awry. I blame Dirty South rap. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, this is Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Listen to this song. It's a story about how he didn't have time to really raise his boy. He was too busy doing all these things until his son grew up and wound up being the same way like his father. I think this is a perfect song for this show. I know these white people singing it, but it just really spell out why so many black boys are angry, because the father was just too busy. Too busy. I'll replay it again on Spreaker.com without us talking over it so you can hear the words. All right? I'll go to YouTube.com, type in Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Find me tonight. No, find me tomorrow at 4 o'clock. But tonight on my Evening Manna. Evening Manna, we do every night, 10 o'clock or 10:30, depending on how long the news is. Okay?
I'll be asleep.
Yeah, all right. Well, you'll see it in the morning on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook Live. Thank you, Facebook Wall. And thank you, Brittany, for spinning the wax. Alan Card, well, you're doing the best you can.
Pray my strength.
All right. So, Walter Jones Show.
Child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. Coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. He walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. We're gonna have a good time there.
Hey, ladies and gents, if you missed any of today's show, head to Spreaker.com and search The Sir Walter Jones Show and listen to this show and past shows. Now remember, search for The Sir Walter Jones Show on Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, spelled Spreaker.com. And enjoy.
You have been listening to The Sir Walter Jones Show, where Sir Walter Jones provides you with a biblical perspective on everyday life. Stay connected to Sir Walter Jones at his website, www.sirwalterjones.com. Search The Sir Walter Jones Show on Facebook or follow on Twitter at Sir Walter's Music. Until next time, thank you for listening to The Sir Walter Jones Show with Sir Walter Jones.
Right, Mr. Walters?